What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris, and in today's video, we're going to be checking out and installing this DESLOC C110 smart lock. Now this is a keyless entry lock that claims to combine speed, security, and simplicity all in one sleek package. Now, if you've been following my channel, you'll know that I previously reviewed DESLOC's higher end model, the D110 Plus, which came packed with a bunch of features, premium design, and a few extra bells and whistles. Well, that model left a strong impression on me, and it's been working great on my parents' backyard door for a few months now. It's made their lives so much easier, not having to worry about keys and even locking the door. Now this is where we come in today's video. What if you don't need the full-featured high-end model or even a higher price tag, and instead you just need something that's simple for, like, let's say an outdoor shed, or even a secret storage room, or even your garage door, which is where I'll be installing this lock. Now, with all of that in mind, this is where this C110 comes in. It's simpler, it's more affordable, and it's still packed with impressive features. So with that in mind, let's dive in and see how it holds up in my real-world usage. Okay, so first things first, this is just the box for the lock itself, because I've already pre-installed the lock and have been using it for the past few weeks, trying to test it out and review it. Now, what comes in the box, of course, is the lock itself, both the interior and the exterior assembly. Now on this lock, you've got a keypad with an integrated fingerprint sensor. You've also got a mounting plate, you've got hardware and screws, and it also comes with a backup set of physical keys. In addition to that, you also do get an installation guide and an emergency Type-C charging cable, which you can use if your battery dies. Now, when it comes to the build quality, it feels really solid. Now, I will admit it's not as heavy or as premium as the D110 Plus with its full-featured and modern design, but this C110 is still robust and modern with almost a rounded shape. And I gotta say, a lot of it is made of plastic, but then again, you are paying a much cheaper price. Now, in addition to that, the lock is BHMA Grade 3 certified, and it does have an IP54 rating, which means it'll stand up to everyday weather. Now, that is important, but since I'm installing this on my inner garage door, that isn't really something that I need to worry about. Now, of course, it is nice to have though, in case you are planning to use this on like an outdoor shed or even your back door. So there are use cases where it will benefit from those certifications. Now, when it comes to installation, honestly, like most locks, it was a breeze. DESLOC claims that it will only take 20 minutes, and of course that was pretty much spot on. And that is, of course, assuming that you do have the holes pre-drilled in your door and you're just replacing an older deadbolt, which a lot of us are doing. Now, if you aren't and you're installing the lock from scratch, it may, of course, take a little longer if you need to drill the holes into the door, which is, of course, to be expected. Now, when it comes to the lock installation itself, it really only has 7 screws, and then everything pretty much just clicked right into place. Now, get this. One nice feature about this lock in particular, and a feature that makes installation even easier, is that it automatically detects the door swing direction. So there's no need to fiddle with settings or even flip the handles like some other brands when you're doing the install. In addition to that, the lock view screen makes setup feel futuristic by telling you exactly what's going on visually, which is a key feature that it retained from its more expensive counterpart, the D110. You can visually add and delete fingerprints, check battery status, and see your lock state without even using the app or dealing with cryptic beeps. It tells you everything that you need to know on that little screen. Now, something that I was actually surprised about is, compared to the D110 Plus, the C110 definitely felt a little faster to install, and that is really only because there is no app that you need to set up. Now, take that how you will. It could, for some of you, either be a good thing or a bad thing, especially for those of you that like to be able to control your lock using an app. Everything is actually controlled on the lock itself. Now, where the C110 shines is, of course, ease of access. It's got 3-in-1 unlocking, which means that you can unlock it using your fingerprint, a PIN code, or your good old-fashioned keys that were included as a backup. Now, from a speed perspective, the fingerprint sensor is lightning fast. It actually recognizes your thumb in under 0.3 seconds with over 99% in accuracy, which you can't say for many locks. Now, when it comes to the lock's storage and memory, you can store up to 50 fingerprints, 100 PIN codes, and 4 one-time guest codes, which makes it great for households, roommates, or even Airbnb use. Now, with all that in mind, I will be completely honest. The D110 Plus did feel a little bit more luxurious with its design, its materials, and its more visible lock status. But what the C110 lacks in flash, it definitely makes up for in function. Now, just like its more expensive big brother, the D110, this C110 has an auto lock function, and it's got anti-peeping passcodes, and of course, all the data is stored locally on the lock itself and not in the cloud, which gives me peace of mind on the privacy front. And then when it comes to battery life and durability, which of course battery life is a big deal for smart locks because nobody wants to get locked out of their house. DESLOC promises up to 12 months of battery life, and after a couple of weeks of use, battery drain for me has been very minimal. It's similar to the D110 I installed at my parents' house, which has been working well for over a month now. And then, of course, there is the fact, if it ever does run low on battery, you'll get a visual warning on the lock itself. And then, of course, there is also a Type-C emergency charging port right underneath the lock that you can use to power and unlock the door if you need to. Now, I haven't had to use it yet, but it definitely is a reassuring feature to have installed on the lock itself. Now, just like all other companies and locks I've reviewed on this channel, DESLOC has stress tested this C110 to the max. Part of their testing includes a 100,000 cycle test, a 3,000 Newton pressure test, a 100 joules impact test, and a 240-hour salt spray test for corrosion. Translation, it's built to last. And in my hands, I've used this lock pretty much daily since I installed it, and it works great. I don't know about you, but if I went through all those tests, I'd definitely fail. Okay, so I guess let's walk through a few real-world moments that I've had with this lock. Now, like most of you, I often carry groceries and other store-bought goods with one hand, and I use my thumb to unlock the door. In this case, boom, no fumbling. And response is super fast, especially when I'm carrying things like a big pack of bottled water. That thumbprint sensor works so fast and is so convenient that it makes everything easy. Now, on occasion, when I'm traveling, I can and have assigned friends a one-time PIN remotely to help collect and bring in some of my packages, which I'm sure a lot of us have done. This feature, of course, has proven helpful because it allows me to comfortably provide them an access code that's temporary so they can let themselves in without any kind of problems. And I've done this several times and it always works great. Now, in another scenario, if any of my relatives who have access forgets their PIN, we can also simply delete and re-add it in less than a minute using the lock view screen. And of course, no app is required. Now, honestly, it is refreshing to have smart features that don't require a smartphone. That's where this model feels more inclusive than some other Wi-Fi dependent competitors. Because sometimes the Wi-Fi can go out and that makes the app pretty much useless. So it's nice that this thing doesn't rely on an app to control some of those features. Now, with all that in mind, let's talk really quickly about the differences between this C110 and the D110 Plus that I reviewed a while back in a separate video. Now, of course, because of the cost, the D110 is a little bit more of a premium package overall. And as you can see on the screen, here's a really quick comparison summary of both of the locks. Now, as you can see, you are paying slightly less for a toned down version of the D110. However, you aren't missing any features that you can't live without. In fact, if you want a sleek all-in-one package for your main entry, the D110 Plus still holds the crown. But for interior doors, side doors, or even rental properties, this C110 punches way above its weight and should be considered a great solution. So here's the bottom line. This DESLOC C110 is perfect if you're looking for a no-fuss smart lock that doesn't rely on an app, and is also super fast when it comes to fingerprint unlocking. It also offers easy installation in under 20 minutes. And of course, it's got strong security features like auto lock and anti-peep code. And then, of course, all of that is at a reasonable price point, coming in at just $35, which I think is a steal. Now, it may not have the same premium look as the D110 Plus, or even features like app control, but when it comes to value for money and simplicity, this one is hard to beat. Now, after hearing more about the features and my review, if you are interested in checking out this C110 and buying one for yourself, I've dropped a purchase link in the description section below. Now, if you've tried this or the D110, let me know in the comments section which one of these locks you prefer, and also what feature you like best in a smart lock. And as usual, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell icon for more smart home gear reviews, which of course will be coming soon. Until next time, I'll catch you in the next one.